Introducing the funniest man in the world and the greatest truth teller ever known. Give it up for the one, the only, Jake the Bada bing, bada boom. We're back in business. How the hell is everybody doing tonight? Saturday night. Got my boy Ralph here. Ralph, how we doing tonight? You ready to have a good time? Yeah, he's probably going to fall asleep in the next few minutes. That's what he does. All right. Glad to see everyone here on a Saturday night. We have some super chat love before the show even starts. I love it when that happens. One of my favorite things about my audience is they have super chats waiting for me before the show even begins. So tonight I'm going to go all the way back to before the show even started. We're going to get the first super chat from Karen Howley, or Hooley, or however you say it. And she says, Jake is amazing. Oh, wow. I love the way this one's starting out already. Not many people speak the truth the way he does and deliver it in a humorous way. It's hard for me to make the live streams, but I always watch them later. Please do one of your favorite impressions. One of my favorite impressions. So it's like, have you noticed like everything sucks? And it's like everything just like keeps getting worse. And it's like I want to do something cool, but like nothing's cool anymore. Everything just sucks. And it's like all I want to do is like before I die, I just want to score with a chick who has big thingies. But I feel like it's never gonna happen. I feel like I'm getting older and older, and like I'm gonna miss my like opportunity or something, and it sucks. This place just sucks. Settle down, Beavis. You're gonna have like a spasmerism or something. Yeah, but like seriously, butthead, it's like we're never gonna score. It's like all I want to do is just like have a girl with big thingies just like soothe my boner. But like it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen, and it sucks. Beavis, the reason why it's never gonna happen is because you're a depressing, lonely monkey spanker, and no chicks even want to hang out with you. No way, butthead. I'm cool. It's the chick's fault. It's a chick's fault for not noticing how damn cool I am. Look at my Metallica shirt. Of course I'm cool. Beavis, all the chicks know that you're a lonely monkey spanking dill hole. No way, butthead. If you keep talking to me like that, I'm gonna kick you in the nads. Beavis, if you try and kick me in the nads, I swear I will slap the ever-loving bejesus out of you. No way! No way! Everything sucks! Now I'm gonna kick your ass! I'm gonna kick you in the nads! Fart knocker! Beavis, stay away from me. Yeah! Beavis, you just kicked me in the nads. Oh, you fart knocker. Oh. There you go. Beavis and Butthead getting us started. And I'm sticking with the theme of tonight. Tonight's theme is everything sucks. Everything's getting shitty. Yeah. Thank you, Karen Howley. Or if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But thank you very much for the first super chat of the night getting us started. I really appreciate that. Just a person with a super chat suggestion asking Wanda Sykes attempts to hit on RFK Jr. RFK is interested but severely sidetracked by holding in a massive turd. Eventually, he shits his pants. Asmongold reacts. Wow! I like your creativity, sir.
You know, I'm not really interested in white men, but there is one white man in particular that I find incredibly sexy, and I just can't help myself. I just want to jump his bones. RFK Jr. You know who he is? That man is sexy. He right up my alley, if you know what I mean. And you know what? I'm going to go try and hit on him right now. Excuse me, RFK, would you be interested in riding on the Hershey Highway, if you know what I mean?
I would really love to, but I'm a happily married man, and most of all, I'm very, very uncomfortable right now.
Why is that?
That's because I've been holding back this massive shit in my ass. I've been holding it back for literally decades, which has caused me to start talking like this. That's why when I talk, it sounds like I'm just so incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh, I always wonder why you sound like that, but I think it sounds sexy. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to jump your bones. Are you sure? You sure you don't want to have me in a three-way with your wife?
I'm positive she probably wouldn't want to go for that sort of thing, but we greatly appreciate the offer. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to find a bathroom because I think this turd is finally going to come out of my ass. Oh, it's coming out right now. That's
Did you guys just see that? That's fucking crazy. It's more crazy than P. Diddy and his parties and the Epstein files combined. What the? You've got to be freaking kidding me.
There you go. Whew. Working for the money tonight. You know, everything is in decline, so I got to be on my A game, right? Got to keep being funny, keep cranking out the funny business, or else I die, right? It's kind of freaky. If I don't keep cranking out the funny business, then I'm fucked. All right. Hard at work already. All right. Getting to the next super chat. I saw a few more come in now that I've officially started the show. Those were the ones that came in before the show. Those were some pre-show suggestions, and they were good ones. Doxological Thinker says, can you do Neil deGrasse Tyson translating for Stephen Hawking, but the talking box interrupts and wants to do the half pipe? Stephen says the wonders of our own galaxy goes beyond man's own
interpretation of what it means to be alive. And of course, science doesn't care what your opinion is, because science already knows the answer, dude. I mean, we're all just little specks of dust, just floating around in an infinite void, an infinite space vacuum that goes on and on, far beyond our own comprehension. And of course, as little specks of dust here on a shooting paroid that floats through outer space, we have to wonder at the marvels of our own galaxy. Stephen says perhaps at the center of the galaxy, there might be a giant black hole. And here's the thing, whether you agree or whether you disagree, science doesn't care. Science has already proven that fact. There is a massive black hole at the center of our galaxy. And one day, the Earth will actually be sucked into it. But we'll already be long dead, so we don't have to worry about that. And all of this came from Stephen's mind. He really is a very brilliant individual. He said all of that stuff. When you heard him mumbling, he actually said all of that stuff. And I'm the world's leading astrophysicist, so I am able to translate all of his mumbles. Stephen, do you have anything to add before we move on? Stephen needs to stop mumbling because the new technology is here. The new technology is in the form of this talking box. This talking box will now do the talking for Stephen Hawking. You will no longer need to listen to Stephen Hawking's mumbles, and there will no longer be a need for a human translator. So at this point, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are fired. What are you talking about? I am now going to be the human voice of Stephen Hawking. He will now be done by this robot box. Whatever comes out of this box is what people will perceive to be what Stephen Hawking is actually saying. Whew. Oh yeah, and I have to add in the thing about the fucking half pipe. Damn it, I forgot the thing about the half pipe. One day in the future, man will be marveling at AI videos of Stephen Hawking dropping into a half pipe long after he has died. Stephen Hawking will be in heaven marveling down at the people marveling at him while he drops into a half pipe in an AI video. And he'll even remember how he warned you that artificial intelligence would indeed be the downfall of society. Whew. Holy shit. All right. That one went on for a long time. And you got to remember, I'm doing all this on the spot. So when I fuck up and try and think of things to say, it's because it's live and I'm making it all up, man. It's hard. That's why you don't see anyone else doing this. I'm a rare breed, a rare bird. That's for sure. All right. Make sure I got through all the super chats. Looks like I did. So thank you, Doxological Thinker, Just a Person, Karen Hooley getting us started with all the super chat love tonight. Awesome. All right. All right. Did you guys dig any of that? There were a few little miscues in there, you know, while I was trying to think of shit to say, but I think I pulled off some of that decently well. What do you guys think? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Whenever I do my Neil deGrasse Tyson impression, I use my hands as eyebrows. That way I don't have to do this for everything that I say. And that is why Science doesn't care what man thinks. Science has already got it figured out. We're just lucky enough to be able to practice science. Science is going to be here long after we die, man. We're going to be looked at like the dinosaurs. I don't even do the best Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's why I have to use my hands as eyebrows to cover for the fact that it's not the best. All right. So I debuted this impression the other night. I'm going to do it again for anyone who missed my last live stream, but check it out. Here's my impression of Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies. Thank you. Thank you. I had to work on that one for months to get it just right. There you go. Jason Voorhees. I think I do the best Jason Voorhees of anyone alive. Have you ever seen anyone do Jason Voorhees as good as that? No, you haven't. Thank you. All right. Doxological Thinker says, that was epic. It was worth way more than $5. So here's 10 more for the world's best comedian and impressionist. Yes! You guys are making me feel awesome tonight. So glad I did this. We're starting it off good tonight. You know, I was like, I don't really know what to talk about tonight. Maybe I'll talk about how everything sucks and do like a doom and gloom thing, but try and make fun of everything and make humor out of how much everything sucks donkey dicks. So I just figured, you know, I'll give you guys some depressing news tonight, and we'll talk about how much better everything used to be. And then I was thinking tonight I'll read a bunch of y'all's comments tonight, not just the super chat ones, but a bunch of comments tonight, and we'll all talk about how much shit sucks. We'll all vent, because let's be honest, sometimes we just need to vent, right? We just need to talk to other individuals about how much shit sucks right now, and it's getting even shittier, it seems. Doesn't seem to be going the other way either. All right. Doxological Thinker. Hell yeah, getting us started. So, have you guys noticed that 2025 sucks more donkey dicks than 2024? Like, I didn't notice a big difference from 2023 to 2024. Like, I didn't feel it, but like, man, 2025, man, this year, it's sucked some pretty big donkey dicks. Wouldn't you agree? It's like AI progressed like 5 years in the last, like, I don't know, 6 months, it seems, right? It's like, dude, I swear, just like last year, the AI that was available was nothing like what we're seeing now. Now there's like tens of thousands of these AI videos being pumped out a day, right? The platform's oversaturated with fucking artificial shit. Start watching a video and it's just some AI shit that was thrown together in seconds. And I'm like, dude, it takes me hours to make videos sometimes. And AI's cranking shit out in seconds. That's not good. What else? Well, I was looking at so like pop culture and entertainment, it's all in decline. Everything's like a shittier, hoard out castrated version of what it used to be, right? You know, South Park sucks donkey dicks. The Simpsons, it sucks donkey dicks. Movies, Hollywood, nobody wants to go watch that trash, right? Full of nothing but fucking demonic programming. So you get stuck. I don't know about you guys, but I get stuck like, well, what are we supposed to do? There's nothing really left to enjoy anymore. I was going down the list. I was like, people don't go to malls. Malls have died, right? Remember we used to go to malls? If you're old enough, right? If you were alive in the 80s, in the early 90s, which of course some of my audience, most of my audience should have been alive back then. You might remember a time when people would go to the mall and you'd walk around, and that could easily kill a few hours, and it would be like a place to like meet up with friends and walk around. And like I remember I could even by myself go into a mall back in the 90s and like go to the CD store and just peruse CDs and kill at least 10-15 minutes doing that. And then walk over to like the shoe store or the sports store and just look at shit and think, okay, maybe for my birthday, I'm going to ask for that or whatever. Right. So I remember a time when like I could walk around in the mall and look at shit, kill time. And that was a thing people did. And now it's like all the malls across America are basically dead. And the ones that are open, nobody wants to go. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Nobody does. It's like a dead thing, right? And then going to the movies, I stopped going to the movies. But when I was a kid, I used to go. It used to be something to get excited about, was going to see a movie. And then you'd see previews for other movies and you'd get all excited to go see those movies. It's like all that shit's gone. So I find that like the things that I get to look forward to are like have dwindled down. And the older I get, it's getting worse and worse. The selection of activities that I can do to entertain myself. Even mind-numbing shit that you shouldn't be doing. Even that shit sucks so bad that you don't want to do that either. All right, so we'll start with a video clip. I'll show a little video clip to get conversation rolling. But one thing I noticed is like I stopped going out to eat almost entirely, to where now like if I'm on the road on a trip or something, I'll maybe stop and get like an In-N-Out burger, but that's about the most. I don't go to sit down restaurants like hardly at all. I think I've been to maybe in the last year, like one sit down restaurant, and in the last maybe 2 years, one sit down restaurant. So I stopped going to sit down restaurants. And we'll watch a video clip about that. And we're just going to jump around from subject to subject and talk about how everything's basically in a form of decline. All right.
Completely relate to this situation. Like, going out to eat just isn't worth it anymore, especially in Miami. In fact, I find better deals on restaurants here, guys, in Marin County than in Miami where I live. I'm not kidding you. The restaurant prices, for the most part in Miami, are higher than here, especially for just like regular spots, places where the average Joe wants to eat, like me. I don't like going to fancy restaurants for the most part. I don't like paying the premium unless you're getting a premium meal or experience. But a lot of the restaurant owners and chefs in Miami this summer have been talking about just how slow everything has been. And of course, it's not everywhere, but the Miami Herald talked to a bunch of people who live in Miami and asked them why they're not eating out. And for the most part, people said prices are just too high and they are trying to cut back right now.
That's the main answer right there for probably everybody. What about you guys? Did you stop going out to eat? I pretty much cook for me and my dog like every day. So it seems like a chunk of my day is always dedicated to food preparation. And it gets to be tedious, but like that's one of the only ways to cut costs and like not eat a bunch of fast food trash, right? Which is overpriced anyway. So you have to cook at home. And if you're going to cook at home, the groceries are super expensive now. So you got to buy cheaper shit a lot of times, cut costs. And so I'm noticing that like I'm always cooking food, if not for me, for my damn dog. My dog doesn't eat kibble, so he eats home cooked meals. So, and then if you try and cook in bulk, well, you still have to do a big bulk bunch of cooking and deal with a bunch of food and spend the time prepping all that food and making whatever it is. So how many of you guys go out to eat anymore? Andy says, I go to Longhorn Steakhouse. I haven't been to Longhorn. Actually, I think when I went to go get Ralphie, I think his owner took me to Longhorn. He was like, let's go get steak on me. So I think the last time I went to get Longhorn, the guy that gave me Ralphie let me choose out of the Beagle pups. He took me out to eat there. That was the last time I went there. Derek Wire says we like the America Chinese buffet. Man, I haven't ate at a buffet in a long time. It seems like most buffets have shut down. So I've seen like in Las Vegas, a lot of their buffets are super expensive and a lot of them have shut down. And then at the casino that's near me, they shut down their buffet there. And I know like a lot of like Golden Corrals and places went out of business. So Jason G says, I don't eat out at all. Dominic says, nope. All right. Spicy Ramen said, I'm broke and don't have any friends. Sadly, more and more people are experiencing that. And it seems like there is a ton of content like that online. How people are talking about how they're going through rough times and everything's just getting super expensive. So that's why tonight I thought we'd vent about that shit. Connor Clark said, is Klay Thompson, Meg Stallion, real or fake? Klay Thompson, Meg Stallion. I know Klay Thompson is a basketball player, but I don't know who Meg Stallion is. Okay. Are you talking about this person right here? Megan Thee Stallion? I have no idea. I've never heard of Meg Stallion. All I know is Klay Thompson is a basketball player. And the NBA is fake. The NBA, the players play fake basketball. So Klay Thompson plays fake basketball. I don't know who Meg Stallion is. This is the first I've ever heard of this person. Looks like a dude to me. Maybe you're asking if Klay Thompson also plays the role of Meg Stallion. I have no idea. Thank you very much, Connor Clark, for the little side quest. Andy says, I cook at home also. All right. So we'll watch a little more about this dude talking about the empty tables. He got a shitload of views on this video, just talking about how restaurants are empty.
They say the main reason cited by diners who responded is the fact that prices are too high and that too many new restaurants aren't paying attention to the needs of local diners. Man, that one hits home too, because so many of these restaurants are all the same. You know, they all kind of have the same dishes. They're all very expensive. The service is mediocre or crap at best.
That's a great point. When I do splurge and go out to eat, it's usually just meh or shitty, right? Like restaurants don't really blow me away anymore. I don't know about you, but like I'm not trying to spend $50 and up a plate on some fancy meal. So it seems like if you try and eat like something that's like $20 a plate or $30 a plate, it turns out to just be some microwaved fucking food that was frozen beforehand that they ordered from the restaurant warehouse. It turns out a lot of the restaurants are just ordering warehouse food frozen and then just reheating it, microwaving it and shit a lot of times. So there's entire chain restaurants that just order all their shit frozen and reheat it.
And then they
Oh, I got the super chat right here. Says, I don't know about you, Jake, but here in Canada, the clothing products have become terrible. My shoes untie themselves several times a day. It feels embarrassing to need to tie my shoes so often. I do the big fat double knot, right? I'm that guy with the lame ass big fat double knot because if I tie a single knot, then that means it's guaranteed to come untied multiple times. So I'm that dude, the lame ass white guy. And you know what? If I show you guys my shoes, you guys will fucking laugh at me. I buy my shoes from Ross and I buy like off brand, just like plain black shoes. I'm not even kidding. I'll show you. Look, see? This fucking plain ass black shoes. Right? They're dirty. If I'm just going to be taking the dog out for walks and I'm not going to be meeting up with anyone or doing anything fancy and the shoes are going to get worn out one way or the other, right? Then fuck it. I might as well just get these cheapies, right? From Ross. So I've noticed that like as far as clothing, yeah, it's shittier. So like I just got to be a bargain shopper and then like realize the stuff that I'm going to wear out, like taking Ralph on walks and shit at night, whatever. I'll just have a cheap pair of shoes. And then at night I'll have a nicer pair that I can wear if I'm going to go out on a rare occasion and not need dirty shoes. Then I'll have a newer pair, right? But yeah, man, I do the big fat double knot. See, you thought I was kidding? Thought I was messing around? I ain't joking. See? Look at that. You thought I was kidding? This is how you keep your shoes from coming untied. Like this. Right? See this? Yeah. There's people out there that spend like $300 on like Air Jordans and they think they're all fucking cool when they go walk around. Like, whatever. Prissy ass Air Jordans. These are my fucking Air Junkies, right? I'm gonna go walk Ralph in my Air Junkies, and if I step in some dog shit, well, I bought them at I bought them at Ross for $19.99. All right. See, you guys think Jake's living large? I ain't living large. I'm in the rat race like y'all motherfuckers. Look, this guy's laughing, but he says he shops at Ross as well. Oh, especially for stuff like bed sheets and stuff. I notice, like, if I'm going to get, like, a new mattress cover and new sheet, Ross has got the hookup on that for cheap. Like $12 for a little set. Hell yeah. Charismatic Fiend said, I just sold my guitar and amp so I could buy weed. Well, if it was not being played and you didn't really care about it anymore, then perhaps the person you sold it to will enjoy it and play it. Speaking of, I've been telling myself I need to get back into playing bass more often and come up with some new stuff. But man, ever since I got the dog, like, my bass is taking a back seat. So there's only so much time in the day. So I know how it goes to neglect your instrument. JP Crisino says your double knot legacy will thrive in the North. I'm going to start rocking double knot. We have a cheap French store chain called R.R. Rossi. R.R. Rossi. So it's like Ross. I shop at Ross, you shop at R.R. Rossi. It's all the same. We buying some cheap Chinese made shit or Indonesian made shit or wherever the fuck it's made shit. That's what we do. You know how we do it. All right. We'll listen to a little bit more about this guy talk shit about restaurants, and then we'll move on.
Want to charge you $30 to $40 a plate. One couple in Miami reported going to a restaurant in Wynwood called Double Knot, which is an Asian restaurant from Philadelphia. And
Whoa! Double Knot? So here's the deal. I didn't think that I was going to bring up my shoes and double knot tonight. And then this guy said double knot. That's weird. You guys are going to be like, whatever, you set that up on purpose, blah. No, like, that's some weird shit. Like, I didn't plan on bringing up my shoes and double knot, but the one dude talked about his shoes coming untied. And then he said the double knot. That's weird. That's just weird to me.
$30 to $40 a plate. One couple in Miami reported going to a restaurant in Wynwood called Double Knot, which is an Asian restaurant from Philadelphia. And just a dinner for two was $300, guys. Like, if I got a bill for dinner for two for Lizzie and I would have to do like a double take and like, is this for real? I mean, is this the right number?
For me, that's out of the question. $300 for a meal, out of the question. I don't care how good the restaurant is. Nope. There's other things I could do at the 300 that would be more fun than eat that meal. Like, I could take a weekend vacation to the coast, stay in my van, and eat Mexican food and pizza, and have I'd have more fun than eating the one fancy meal, right? I know what it's like to eat a really good fancy seafood meal overlooking the ocean. So I have been to fancy seafood restaurants in Monterey where you get to overlook the ocean. But even those, if you pick and choose the right times, you can get some decent deals, and it isn't as expensive as what he's talking about. So I would never pay $300, but like $50, like maybe once in a great while for an awesome, lobster tail and steak and overlook the ocean, like once in a blue moon to pay $50 a plate. I can totally understand that, like, oh, it's a fucking birthday dinner or an anniversary dinner or whatever, like we all deserve to have one awesome ass meal, like at least once a year, right? But $300, hell no. Speaking of, it costs just to go over to the coast and hang out, not including food, just to like drive over there. It costs like in gas money, usually like around $100 just to go over there and back, just to go over to the coast and back, right? And gas, I'll burn up $100, and then food when you get there. So like just going over and hanging out anywhere, and between the gas and then the food turns into like a couple $100 day, right? So that's why a lot of people are just stuck at home now, because if you leave the house to go do anything, it's going to turn into a couple $100 day.
I don't think I've ever paid that much for us to go have a dinner anywhere, ever. And in Wynwood and downtown and even in South Beach, they have all of these brand new fancy restaurants popping up all the time. And it's not uncommon for a couple to spend $300 like it's nothing at these restaurants. And then they wonder why it's so slow. Like, yeah, maybe once in a lifetime or once for a special occasion, it's okay to spend that much. But on a regular basis, who's doing that, guys? And there's a lot of rich people who live in Miami, but I don't think most of them are spending that on a regular basis. Another couple complains that two people cannot spend less than $150 on dinner at a not so fancy restaurant. I completely agree. It's so hard to find good places to eat over there. But they say, I'm sure that the restaurants will bounce back once the rich and famous hit the area for the fall and winter for all the festivals and art shows. And obviously the snowbirds come back to Miami.
Yeah, right. No, that restaurants are taking a hit because it's too damn expensive across the board. So the thing is, if I was to go live in a place where the cost of living is lower, well, then my options to go do things that are fun, that I enjoy, dwindle down even more so. So if I was to go live in Indiana, well, I can't exactly go take my dog for a walk by the ocean, which is something I enjoy a lot. And so one of the hardest things for me to deal with, as a guy who enjoys being outside and taking my dog out for walks and enjoying nice weather and enjoying being alive, as much as I enjoy all that, it costs money. And nowadays it's an exorbitant amount, it seems, just to go out and enjoy yourself. And so once joy is taken away from me, and I live, let's say, in the Midwest, where things are a little cheaper, not much, but a little cheaper, right? Well, there's less things for me to go do in the Midwest. I mean, people in the Midwest might be cool with going to a local river, but I am a person who loves the ocean. I love to go walk my dog along the beach. I love to feel the sea breeze. Late at night, I like to just listen to music and trip out on mushrooms and walk around near the ocean. And then seaside towns in California. I'm a sucker for seaside towns and the wonderful weather and stuff like that. Just love it. It makes me feel happy to be alive. And so to leave that behind and go to the Midwest where it doesn't exist and a lot of the towns are really shitty and the only thing to do is drink or drugs. It's like, yeah, gas is cheaper, the cost of living's cheaper, but it's because life sucks more in a lot of those places. So the thing about California is it's really expensive, but there's a lot of nice places and nice things to go do if you've got a little money. So that's the biggest trade-off. Jonna says, let's go to 17 Mile Drive. Spanish Oaks has a nice restaurant with great views. Oh, yeah. Well, restaurants over there in Monterey and Pacific Grove and Carmel. Yeah, all those are going to be higher end restaurants for sure. And the views are going to be great, most likely. I love that area. So here's the deal. I can't afford to live in those areas. It's too expensive. And so I take mini vacations. I load up my dog into the van and we drive over in the minivan, and I drive an old minivan. My minivan is almost 26 years old. My Toyota minivan still running. And so I'll take it over to the coast, and me and Ralph will enjoy the beaches. And but we sleep in my van. So there's points in the night where we're, roughing it kind of. The people in their nice ass houses, and I'm in the little minivan with my dog, right? And he's got his fucking sandy paws all up on the bed, and we got to try and sleep in the minivan, So I know what it's like to try and go do the nice vacation thing, but on a budget, on a shoestring budget, right? So I figured out how I can go take little mini trips, but I can't take long trips because it eats up too much money. And the longer I'm doing stuff where I'm not doing anything for the channel, it's just like nothing but losing money, right? So then I have to try and turn my vacations into like content, but then that can be tricky because then I have to have something that I'm doing for the camera, and I have to make sure to get it all on film. And then when I get back, then I got to edit all that shit. So trying to turn my fun into content, that can be tricky because then it becomes work, right? So I've had that idea. Oh, I'll just videotape this and then make a video out of it. But I'm like, yeah, but what's the video going to be about? And what are you going to do? And then you have to get all these shots, and then you got to get then it becomes more about me getting shots than it does about enjoying the moment. So it's tricky because there's so many awesome places I like to go and hang out, but they cost money. And, I'd just like to go hang out and just go to all the damn beaches and just not worry about anything. But sadly, it's super expensive. And so, yeah, I can only afford to go over there maybe once a month for like a couple days. And then I got to get back to work. Rose says, I don't believe one needs a lot of money to enjoy yourself. Well, I'm kind of an example of that. I don't make a lot, these streams, sometimes I'll make a couple $100, but overall, like, I don't make that much money doing this. And so I've had to cut my bills down tremendously. And so I'm a person who keeps my bills as low as possible. So I've cut a lot of things out. All the streaming services and shit, I cut all those out. I don't go out to eat. When I do take a mini vacation, I'm sleeping in the van and bringing my own food and trying to be as frugal as possible. And we don't splurge on a lot of stuff. So, and then I showed you guys, I buy like cheaper shoes. I drive a vehicle that I own that's old. I rent this office run my channel and live out of here. So, you know, I'm keeping this my bills as low as possible. So I'm a person that doesn't make a lot, but I keep my bills as low as possible so that I can at least come out ahead, even if I don't make that much. And there's people out there that make a lot more, but they spend a lot of time working at a job they don't like doing, and they aren't as happy as I am during times of my life. So I'm a guy who doesn't make that much, but there's times where I'm out enjoying myself, and you know, I don't really have much to hold me down or hold me back. I can go do kind of whatever I feel like doing. So there's cool things about my life, and I don't make that much money. So I'm kind of a rare example of a guy who like has a fun life but doesn't make that much. Art Hawk with a donation. Wow, Art Hawk, very, very generous of you. Coming in with a 50 spot. Wow. And you know what? I also want to take this time to thank a few other people who sent me some donations through PayPal. I've been meaning to give some thank yous to these people. I don't check my email that often, so sometimes I'll go a week or two without checking my emails, and then I'll see that I got a donation from somebody. And so I want to give some shout outs to Kevin, who is known as Trout Fishing at Hood Park. Kevin sent a very generous donation through PayPal. And Kevin, I very greatly appreciate the PayPal donation. Hopefully you can contact the post office and see what happened with that package that you sent. Let's see. Karen Howley, or Karen Hooley, who donated earlier tonight. She also sent a donation through PayPal for the last stream, I believe. Thank you very much, Karen, for your PayPal donation. Allison Matthews sent a PayPal donation. Angela La Rosa sent a PayPal donation. Chad Gaynor, thank you for your donation. And last month, I have a very generous donation from Jeremy Ferguson. So thank you to any and all those people. In case you happen to see this, hopefully all of you guys see it. Maybe some of you are watching now. So I am very lucky to be able to do this for you guys, and I really greatly appreciate the support. You guys are the best audience a YouTuber could ever have, and that's why I try and keep it personal and genuine with you guys. You know, I'm not just a guy trying to crank out video after video after video to make as much money on YouTube as possible. I'm you know, a real person, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. There's not many people out there who I get to talk to like this. So having you guys as my audience, you guys are like my my outlet, my I don't know, like my support group, if you will. Thank you very much, Art Hawk. All right. Did you guys know that Bernie Sanders is getting pushed right now? Or we'll switch up the topic for just a minute. Bernie's getting pushed quite a bit. So my prediction about Bernie being the next president is getting stronger and stronger. I'm seeing more and more stuff about Bernie, and he's speaking out against Trump, and they've made Trump out to be the bad guy on a lot of issues. So Trump's the bad guy on the immigration issues, as far as, you know, anyone who's got family members illegally in the U.S., they're going to look at Trump as the bad guy. Anybody who's hardcore lefty right now, right, they're looking at somebody like Bernie. So Bernie's the one getting pushed right here. So I'm thinking it's almost a guarantee the next president is going to be a liberal. And this is looking like the strongest candidate. Got a few another super chat that came in. Trainwreck Johnson says, we have similar views, and a lot of people think I'm totally crazy when I give them my view of our government and our future. Do you get the same? Basically, I don't even bother trying to talk to anybody in real life, we'll call it, about any of this. I save it all for you guys. So, you know, I don't have many family members left who I talk to anymore. You know, a lot of families passed away. And so at this point, there's very few family members left alive who I even talk to, and they aren't interested in any conspiracy related topics at all. They're like total TV watching sheep. So I don't even bother. If I do talk to family members, I don't even bother bringing up anything that I talk to you guys with. So even something as simple as like, you know, there being imposter Donald Trumps or celebrities getting replaced or something like that, that's way too crazy for my family to buy into. So, like, for instance, my aunt loves Taylor Swift. Loves Taylor Swift. If I try and tell my aunt that Taylor Swift's in a big demonic club and might not actually be a woman, she would not have a second of it. She might want to stop talking to me. Like, she might want to disown me as a family member if I told her that, right? So so yeah, I basically just, there's certain people I know just can't handle the truth or what I believe to be true. And so I just don't even bother. And then when it comes to like regular sheeple, you know, out and about when I'm running errands, I just, you know, don't enter into conversation with people. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of a loner. So if I go out to a grocery store or wherever, it's just, I'm getting my shit and moving on, you know? And then I take my dog out for walks, but I'm always by myself, you know, thinking, or sometimes I'm listening to a video on YouTube or listening to music sometimes. But so a lot of times I'm just a loner, right? And so I'm either thinking about the next video or the next stream, what I'm going to do with this channel, or just whatever, you know? So just out doing my own thing. So I don't actually interact with that many humans in my day-to-day life. And if I do, it's like, you know, someone real quick at the store checking out my items or whatever. So I don't really have a friend group that I hang out with anymore. And I don't really go out to places and hang out with groups of people anymore. So I'm noticing more and more I'm like a loner. And so there's just not that many people for me to talk to about any of this shit. So you guys are my people who I talk to about this shit. You guys are my people. Thank you, Trainwreck Johnson, for the donation. I appreciate that. Sunflower says he's too old. Not that it really matters. They're all puppets. We'll probably AI only presidents in the future. That's why I think he's a perfect candidate, because he's so old. They had bumbling old Joe Biden, and now they have bumbling old version of Trump, right? Who sounds more and more like Joe Biden. And clearly they've used AI Joe Bidens and AI Trumps. So I think Bernie fits the mold of another old bumbling president. I think that like he still speaks well enough, and that the hatred for Trump is going to be at an all-time high, that people are they're going to choose the ones who do vote. They're going to choose the lefty more so than the righty in this next election. You can almost guarantee. And so I think this is a scenario where they know they can actually get the popular vote to be for somebody like Bernie, to make people feel like their vote actually did count, right? So I think they've manufactured enough outrage against Trump that the next election is almost for sure going to swing back to the left. So I think there's a strong chance it's going to be Bernie, even though he's going to be super old. He still speaks well enough.
These are not getting paychecks. It means that air traffic controllers are forced to work crazy hours, and we worry about the safety of our flights right now. We worry about Capitol Police officers right here in D.C. having a hard time feeding their families. These are hard-working people who are doing important work. They deserve respect. They deserve to be paid. This shutdown must end as quickly as possible.
Right now, we're doing whatever we can to negotiate with the president, but he's not cooperating. There's a whole lot of people out there who are going hungry. They're working for free. And this absolutely is inexplicable. Donald Trump needs to negotiate with us right away. We need to work together to end this shutdown right away. I'm working on it. Hey, if this guy's going to be the next president, I gotta work on his mannerisms. There's enough there for me to do a decent Bernie impression. If we're going to get this dude for 4 years, may as well start working on it now, right?
And on top of the fact that we have hundreds of thousands of workers not getting paid, we now have a president who, for the first time in the history of this country, is willing to allow our kids, low-income, working-class children, to go hungry.
He's crazy. He's going to allow your kids to go hungry. He's yapping on and on about Trump-tricity. He's got no brains talking about Trump-tricity. There's never going to be a such thing as Trump-tricity. We need to work together to end this shutdown right now. He's got children going hungry out there, talking about how he's going to have Trump-tricity in all your homes. Let me tell you something. He's going to be long gone from office, and there's never going to be any Trump-tricity, believe you me. All right, so we got Waiting to Die, who's saying hi. Waiting to die, saying hi. Hi, 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 are you waiting to die? Jeff Bravo says, you're in Satan's short season of Revelation 27. If you say so, bro, I'll take your word for it. I was wondering why everything sucked royal donkey cocks. That makes sense. The reason why everything sucks royal donkey cocks is because we're in Satan's short season of Revelation 27. Sounds like some shit you read in the Bible or something, right? All right. All right, y'all.
In order to try to make a political point, a point, by the way, that the American people are seeing through. Mr. President, the cause of this shutdown is not complicated. For the first time in ever, the majority party in the Senate, which needs 60 votes to pass a budget.
The majority party in the Senate. You want a party? It's time to party. I think I need to take a party. Where's my party? Where's the party at? The majority here at the party say ho. Everybody here in the party say hey. Put your hands in the air. Shake your derriere. Everybody here at the party say hey, ho. Shake your derriere. Put your ass on the floor. All right. Sorry, I got carried away. Continue, Mr. Sanders.
Is refusing to negotiate. It is their way or the highway, take it or leave it. We got the majority, we're not talking to you, despite the fact that they only have 53 votes. And to make this situation even more absurd, and to show the American people the contempt in which the Republicans hold for negotiations and democracy, you got a Speaker of the House who has now given his members a 6-week paid vacation.
Members? His members?
For negotiations and democracy, you got a Speaker of the House who has now given his members a 6-week paid vacation. Was now given his members a 6-week paid vacation.
And this is one of the biggest travesties of all. He's giving one of his members, one of his team members, he's given him a 6-week paid vacation. This is after they spent billions on the White House ballroom. And they're still not finished. And there's still no balls in that room. These members need to be warned of this atrocity. Members. That was what I was saying. All of these members. Bernie Sanders is the man for the job. I used to like Trump, but now I no longer like Trump. And now I am going to be in the camp of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders knows all about the members, and I know about the members. And that is why we need to work together. We need to consolidate California with all of the members and all of the treaties and all of the levies. We need to come together as a community. We need to take community chemical concoctions. We need to have a seminar. We need to get down to the chopper, and we need to get down and take the chemical concoction. You need to get pumped up. I want you to get pumped up with the chemical concoction in California with Bernie Sanders. Like, why am I doing Arnold? I don't even know. It's like I just started doing Arnold, and then I was like, dude, why are you doing Arnold? And I was like, I don't know.
Country is in the midst of a major crisis. Republican members of the House are nowhere to be seen. They're on a paid vacation. And if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about whether Republicans are willing to negotiate, I don't know what will.
See, guys, he speaks pretty good. I think he speaks better than Trump or Biden, right? That's pretty good. Pretty good for an old fuck. JP Crucino says, I remember one of your Earth ideas about seeing our own sun. Sometimes I wonder if the awake folks are also surrounded by their own portal people. All right, I'm not sure what you mean by portal people. Awake folks are also surrounded by their own portal people. Are you talking about like NPCs and stuff? People without a soul? I don't know what you're talking about exactly. So I do think that we all see our own sun, and we live in a supernatural realm, and the sun is a supernatural object in the sky that defies reality in so many ways, but we've been lied to about what it is. So people think that the sun is just some burning ball of gas 93 million miles away. But once you figure out that it's not that, and then once you look into the angles that you see the sun, and then you look into observation angles that other people see the sun in different places in the world, and then you realize that those angles don't triangulate back to one sun, and instead everyone gets their own independent angle that they see the sun, which means we all see our own sun. That's when you realize, like I have, that this place isn't what they told us, and that those things in the sky are supernatural, right? So the moon isn't a gray rock that people walked on. The sun isn't a burning ball of gas 93 million miles away. And the stars are not distant suns like our sun. So everything about everything in the sky is not what they told us. I mean, even something as simple as the clouds holding trillions of gallons of water, and it decides to sprinkle a little here, go over here, sprinkle a little more, go over here, rain like fucking crazy, and then whoop, now the sun's back out again, right? And then you get a rainbow, right? Gigantic rainbow and shit. It's like all that stuff is it's magical what goes on, but they've taken the magic away through these bullshit explanations that they call modern science, right? So the modern scientific explanation is that that's a cumulus cloud, and it gathers moisture and it can hold the moisture even though it's a cloud, and it can float up there even though it's holding water. So just something as simple as like how the fucking clouds work and can hold all those all that water and move around up there. That's and fly around above your head. That's crazy. They're totally lying about that. So thank you, JP Crucino, for the donation. Sunflower says, yeah, what up with clouds? Where is the gravity with all that 100 million gallons of water? Something as simple as that. And then there's times where like you look at the moon and it's like full and it's like in tucked in the clouds, right? And it looks like there's clouds in front of it and behind it. And it's like it's almost like a picturesque moon right there, like almost like you're on a movie set, right? So there's like certain times where it's like everything's like too Truman Show-esque. Everything's almost like we're in some sort of TV show, like we're all the star of our own damn TV show. It seems like, at least I feel like that sometimes. Like when I see the sun on one side and then the moon on the other, and it's like, how did these two things get lined up just perfectly like this in this realm? And it's like, makes more sense now that this place is a supernatural realm and that this stuff is projected to each of us, and that we're all walking around in our own virtual dome where this stuff is being projected to us. But if you talk about something like that, it goes against everything we were taught, so people just look at you like you're crazy. Shady Davy D said, smash the like button. Hey, if you're having fun so far, we're just talking about random shit, jumping from subject to subject, having some fun on a Saturday night. If you guys are having fun, do your boy a favor and hit the like button right now. It's quick, it's easy. I really appreciate it. All right. Let's get a little bit more of Bernie. Guys, this might be our next president for the next 4 years after Trump's gone. You guys know they swing the presidential pendulum back and forth pretty regularly, right? So if we went from George Bush Sr. to Clinton to George Bush Jr. and then we went to Obama to Trump to Biden, back to Trump again. You'll see that they're swinging the Republican and Democratic pendulum back and forth every 4 to 8 years, right? So it's not like we've ever seen in our lifetimes, one side dominate the other side for an extended period. We haven't seen, like, 4 Republican presidents win in a row or something like that. You would think that at some point one side would gain the favoritism of the people more so than the other, and then systematically just kick the other side's ass. But they've made this illusion where it just perfectly swings back and forth. All right, now we got to get people as pissed off at Trump as possible so that they for sure go to the polls and vote for whoever the Democratic candidate is, so that we can actually get the popular vote to be the Democratic candidate and give this illusion that the people are actually getting what they want. And then we'll just give them more of the same shit, right? So right now, they're pissing people off with Trump as much as possible to get people to actually show up in person and support this man. And they will. They'll show up and support this dude in the next election.
Mr. Speaker, everybody in this country knows that our current healthcare system is broken. They know that we pay by far, not even close, the highest prices in the world for healthcare, while some 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured. They know that we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, something which must change.
The healthcare system here in America is severely broken. We've got over 80 million members, and they're trying to walk right now, but they're starving, they're going hungry. Trump needs to realize that what he's doing right now is crippling the economy right now. The backbone of America is crippling right now. All of the members are feeling the pain. They're hungry. They're starving. They're tired of putting up with this atrocity.
And what they also know is that Donald Trump and the Republicans, through their horrendous, big, beautiful bill, are making a broken, dysfunctional healthcare system even worse, taking it to the verge of collapse. That legislation is doubling premiums for over 20 million Americans who are in the Affordable Care Act exchange. And in my state, we are hearing from Vermonters who are being asked to pay a tripling of their rates and even a quadrupling of the rates. Who, in God's name, at a time when health care costs are already so high, can afford a doubling, a tripling, or quadrupling of their rates? That is insane.
All right, so there you go. Both sides claiming that the other side needs to negotiate with them, right? So Trump is saying that the Democrats are the ones not opening up the government. He can't fund the SNAP benefits because the Democrats won't open up the government. And then Bernie is saying that Trump needs to negotiate with them to open up the government. See? So they got it set up to where it's both sides' fault, right? So pick your poison. And they're going to point at the other side and say it's their fault. Trump is refusing to negotiate with us. That's not true. These radical leftists are refusing to open up the government. That's because President Trump is refusing to negotiate with us. They're lying. They're nothing but liars, these scoundrel radical leftists. We tried to negotiate. They didn't want to negotiate with us. That's not true. You're lying, President Trump. Right now, you're telling a despicable lie. We tried to negotiate with you, and you wouldn't negotiate with us. That's not true at all. I gave you a call. You didn't pick up the phone. I left a message. I said, you know who this is. You know what this is about. Call me back. And quite frankly, you and I know you never called me back, all right? I've got better things to do with my time. If we're not going to negotiate, I'm going to work on more important things, like getting Trumptricity installed into all of the people of America's homes. It's not crazy. It's going to happen. All right. Mike Flyer says, I don't know if they asked you or if you said it, what about the GPS? Oh, the ground positioning system. So check it out. GPS. They get you between their towers. So they have all their cell towers everywhere. And so as long as they have you triangulated between their towers, that like with your device, then they can pinpoint where you are here on the ground. And if anything goes wrong with that equipment, you send a repair guy in a truck and he can fix it, because all of it is here on the ground. So all of the GPS technology is here on the ground. There is no outer space satellite GPS system. So you can put a satellite dish on a plane, on a drone. You can even have like some sort of drone that runs on sunlight, right? Or compressed air, and it can fly around with a satellite. So you can have stuff flying with satellite dish style shit, we'll call it, for GPS, right? But there's no fixed satellites like in outer space. So the satellites that they show you going around a ball Earth, that's fictional. So you can have a satellite attached to a balloon. They call them a sataloon. You can have a satellite attached to a plane. But as far as like them locating you GPS wise, they get your phone or whatever device you're using, right? And they pinpoint you by getting you your location between their towers. So all they need to do is get you between like 3 of their towers, and they've got you, the entire place surrounded by towers, right? Pretty much everywhere you go, there's a cell tower. And so once they get you in between their towers, they can pinpoint you. Sunflower coming through with a very generous donation. Said, great show, Jake. On a bummer note, Marshawn Nealon from Dallas Cowboys just unalived himself a couple days ago. We can actually look into that. I haven't even checked into it. We'll see if there's any indicators that it's staged or anything. We'll see what the mainstream is saying. But yeah, I heard about it, but he's not like a famous player. And so there isn't many people that were talking about it. So I didn't actually look into it. So this is the first time I'm checking into this.
Now to a tragedy involving a promising young NFL player. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealon. Officials say Nealon died by suicide after a short police chase. The 24-year-old, in only his second NFL season, had just played what was probably his best game as a pro.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack right away. So just played his best game as a pro and then went on a high-speed chase, and it ended in unaliving himself. That sounds like there could be more to this story than what we're being told. And that's just what we've heard in the first 17 seconds. Mental illness claims. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. And the fact that it's a guy who plays pretend football, we have to take into consideration that this is some sort of show, right? Some sort of performance. Now, we can't say for sure. I don't know for sure what happened, but this might all be for show.
Jason Allen has more, and we want to warn you, his report contains some upsetting audio from the police search for Nealon.
She's saying he is armed and has a history of mental illness, and her quote was, "He will end it all."
Speaking to Marshawn Nealon's girlfriend late Wednesday night, Texas police got a glimpse into the final moments of the Cowboy player's life.
They just received a text from him, a group text from him saying goodbye. They're concerned for his welfare.
Police and state troopers say Nealon led them on a pursuit after a traffic violation. After losing sight of the vehicle, they say they found it crashed, with Nealon nowhere to be found.
Whoa, okay, this is getting more and more weird and not really adding up. A pursuit after a traffic violation. So if it's just some simple traffic violation, and if he's a famous football player and has plenty of money, why would he need to run? Why would he feel the need to flee? So maybe he had drugs or a weapon. But even then, if you're like a famous player, you can get a slap on the wrist for any of that shit, right? So the fact that he got away, they said that they lost sight of him, that he got so far out in front of the police cars that they lost sight of him. That part I have a hard time believing. So that's the part where I'm like, okay, police are usually right on someone's ass, especially in a high pursuit. Like the police are usually right there. And so he would have had to have been going super fast to lose the police and crash and die. Or let's hear that one more time. They said he was nowhere in sight.
From him, a group text from him saying goodbye. They're concerned for his welfare.
Police and state troopers say Nealon led them on a pursuit after a traffic violation. After losing sight of the vehicle, they say they found it crashed, with Nealon nowhere to be found.
They found it crashed with him nowhere to be found. So he got far enough out in front of the cops that he could crash and then get out and run.
After a short search, police say they discovered him dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
After a short search, they discovered him dead. Well, where? Right? So yeah, there's a lot that we're not being told here. And these type of stories, when they don't make sense right out of the gate and it's a high profile person, I always lean towards the whole thing being theater, world stage theater. You know, even in the WWE, formerly the WWF, they had some very suspicious deaths that still have me scratching my head. So when it comes to these entertainment leagues, you know, whether it's pro wrestling or pro football, if you hear about a story like this, it has to leave you wondering whether like the guy did something wrong internally and got taken out internally, like it was some sort of professional hit, and then they disguise it as him unaliving himself, or if the whole thing is just staged theater, right? So I always lean towards the whole thing being theater. But I guess there's the possibility that maybe it was a hit from within, or maybe the police found him and they unalived him, but then said that he unalived himself, right? There's always that option. Police have been shown to not have much remorse, if any at all, for taking lives of anyone. So, you know, perhaps the police got there and unalived him and then said that he unalived himself. So there's a lot of different scenarios that could have happened here. There's no way for us to really know based on just this information.
O'Donnell has it blocked.
Nealon's death came just 3 days after what was seemingly a dream Monday night under the lights for the 24-year-old Cowboy.
Nealon the touchdown.
The second year.
Good question about Owen Hart and Chris Benoit. I have questions about all the wrestler deaths. They're all strange to me. We can go down the list. Test, and Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart, Chris Benoit, and shit, there's probably some others I'm even forgetting. Even Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan's death recently. There's some strange shit when it comes to wrestlers dying. And so there's a few of them that I think, you know, like for instance, Hulk Hogan, I think for sure he's a death faker and that the real Hulk is still alive. But as far as like Chris Benoit or Owen Hart, I'm not totally sure with Chris Benoit if it wasn't like some sort of hit job by, you know, like there's rumors that Vince McMahon had the power to get anyone he wanted whacked. And so perhaps Vince McMahon would get people whacked and then they'd have some fucking cover story. Or maybe the whole thing's just fake, you know? So I don't know for sure. And maybe each individual circumstance is different. So I can't go back and prove what happened with Chris Benoit, but the story that they gave us about him just unaliving his family, I'm not totally buying it. I think there's definitely some other shit going on there. But how much foul play, I don't know. Or whether the whole thing's just totally fake, I don't know. So I always have to consider that it's all just world stage theater. But perhaps they do have, behind the scenes hit jobs actually going down on certain people. I will always wonder what happened to the original Dave Chappelle. I couldn't tell you if the original Dave Chappelle got taken out or what they did with him. I can tell you that the new Dave Chappelle is not funny and is not the same guy, but whatever happened to the old Dave Chappelle. So yes, when it comes to celebrity deaths, it always trips me out as far as like, okay, maybe they're still alive, but then where did they go? What did they do with those guys? Where did they get repackaged? Why those wrestlers out of all the people to get a fake death? Why those wrestlers, right? So good question. I wish I had more info for you about those wrestlers, but there's several different wrestlers that died of strange circumstances. I'd be diving down some fucking crazy rabbit holes trying to go dig up information if I was to go back and look. All right.
Your defensive end was mobbed by teammates as he scored his first NFL touchdown in what turned out to be his final football game.
I heard from Marshawn. I heard for his family. I heard for his girlfriend. I heard for every single one of my teammates.
Marshawn.
Pretty emotionless from Dak right there.
Final football game.
I heard from Marshawn. I heard for his family. I heard for his girlfriend. I heard for every single one of my teammates.
I hurt for his mom. I hurt for his dad. I hurt for his family. I hurt for our fans. I hurt for the community. It just really hurts really bad. This is me. I'm hurt. It's a really big loss for the community. It hurts so bad. Sunflower says, Celebrity Island in the middle of Pacific. Have you ever been there? See, we're speculating when it comes to where celebrities go. It's like some of them get repackaged, but maybe some of them do get to go to Celebrity Island in the middle of the Pacific. Maybe you're right. And I don't know. How do you know? See, it's all speculation. That's what bothers me is that, like, I know that celebrities are getting replaced. I know that when certain celebs have been told, we've been told that they've died, that they're still alive, but where do they go? How come some of them have to go play other roles, and then other ones maybe get to go retire in Celebrity Island? Which ones get to retire, and which ones have to continue playing? Does it? So many questions, and there's no way I'm going to get any answers, and it would all just be speculation from you guys if you told me your opinion. It's all just speculation because I know for a fact that none of you guys have been to Celebrity Island. I got to say, this one right here, though, this one is seeming pretty fake to me. Just the story didn't make sense about how he lost the police, crashed his car. They found him. He was already dead. That's a weird story. Dak, emotionless right here.
Marshawn Kneeland, defensive end from Western Michigan.
The Cowboys.
The fact he had his best game before this, and he was stopped for just some traffic violation, but decided he was going to run away and kill himself. That's Quite the story.
Drafted Nealand in the second round in 2024 after a standout career at Western Michigan and a record-setting high school career. But to those who knew him, Nealand's qualities as a person outshone his otherworldly talent.
Neil land. Yes, this is the land where they want you to kneel, right? Remember when the players back like when was it? 2020 or whenever, when the players were kneeling. No, it was before that, right? Kneeling during the national anthem. Kneel land. I don't know. Maybe we're overthinking it.
On the field. His former college coach called his leadership, energy, and smile infectious, and says his passion for life and teammates were unmatched.
Yeah, Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. Mental illness, Nealand after his best game. The part where he loses the police officers is the least believable part. And then they did a search and found him. And he was already dead.
And Nealand's agent wrote, "To lose someone with his talent, spirit, and goodness is a pain I can hardly put into words." For CBS Mornings, Jason Allen, Dallas.
I felt that pain too and didn't know him and never even heard of him until yesterday, but it just shows you.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I felt that pain too and didn't know him and never.
She what? He what? Bro. Bruh.
Jason Allen, Dallas.
I felt that pain too and didn't know him and never even heard of him until yesterday, but it just shows you never know what people are going through.
You never know what people are
He
going
had scored a touchdown in the game, apparently had a girlfriend, had family and friends that cared about him, was doing well. It's so scary to me.
It's just
Wasn't this creature one of the ones that faked going to outer space? Didn't this creature go with like, was it with Katy Perry on Jeff Bezos' penis head rocket? Pretty sure this creature went on Jeff Bezos' penis head rocket, right? And then lied to everybody about going to fucking space. Yeah. This fucking creature right here. Oh, that hurt me too. The fact that they got this creature talking about how hurt it is about Marshawn leads me to believe this is most definitely some staged theater. Yeah, Oprah's butt buddy.
Had family and friends that cared about him, was doing well. It's so scary to me.
It's just important to also check in on the people that you
Exactly
love.
right.
And for the people that are hurting, that they find a place, a way to get help that they need.
Even the people that seem so strong sometimes need the most help.
All right. Yeah, I got to lean towards that being some theater. The story just doesn't quite add up. Yeah, remember that creature and Katy Perry and all them? They were offended that people didn't believe that they went to outer space. The thing was, even the sheeple that didn't think that they went to outer space, those same sheeple still believe in outer space. They didn't wake up to the fact that all outer space travel is bullshit. So it was one of those times where it's like there was backlash against Katy Perry and Gail. That's her name, right? His name. There was backlash, but it didn't wake people up to the fact that all the space travel's fake. It's been fake. Space station's fake. Mars rover's fake. Moon landing's fake. Not just the one Bezos penis rocket, but all of space travel is fake. The Major Cam says, LOL, you think space is fake, dude. I know outer space is fake, dude. When was the last time you went to outer space and floated around and saw the planet as a ball with your own two eyes? Yeah, never. I know for a fact you've never seen the Earth as a ball. So, are you the type of guy who's going to trust people who claim they went to space and saw the Earth as a ball, who work for the government? The only people who get to go to outer space and see the Earth as a ball, they work for the government. I don't know about you, but I don't trust the government. I know the government likes to lie. The government has been proven to lie. So I would easily flip it around on you and go, LOL, you believe the government and what they told you about outer space? That's what I would do. I mean, just look up. Yeah, you're one of those simpletons that think if you see a twinkly thing, it must be a burning ball of gas a sextillion miles away, right? You'll let some guy in a fucking lab coat point at a twinkly dot and tell you that it's 80 trillion light years away, and you'll be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And you'll just believe it, right? Whereas if I tell you that's not a burning ball of gas light years away, you're more inclined to believe the guy in the lab coat who fucking tells you it's trillions of light years away over me, the guy that tells you, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not what they tell you it is. So here's the thing. I can't tell you what the sun is as far as like what it's made out of, how it works, why it does what it does. But what I can tell you is it's not a burning ball of gas 93 million miles away. That's fucking ridiculous. And to think that the stars are the same as our sun and that those are light years away, trillions of light years and millions and billions of light years, that's some shit you can never prove for yourself. You just have to accept it. They tell you that shit and then you accept it. But once you find out that they lie, well, then all that shit goes out the window and you're stuck like me looking up at that stuff, wondering what the fuck that stuff is, right? So the fact that you're coming at me sideways over space being fake, like this is the first time you've heard anybody talk about space being fake, I find that hilarious. In 2025, like I'm the first guy to trigger you about space being fake. All right. Let me find one of those you are here in space memes. Yeah. Watch. If you type in you are here in space, what you get is shit like this where it points to like a part of a galaxy. But then it's like you'll get different ones that look different. Am I here or am I here? Which one is it? Right? Because clearly this one and this one are different. Am I here or am I over here in this one? Right? So they want you to be a speck of dust. They want you to think that you are this little speck of nothingness and that the cosmos are gigantic and just go on and on forever. And this is just one galaxy. There's quadrillions and sextillions of other galaxies out there, and it just goes on and on and on and on. But they can't quite decide where exactly you are. You're here. No, you're here. Which is it? No, I'm here. If I'm here, how can I be also here? Is this the same place as here? Or am I here? No, I'm over here. Looks like I missed some super chats. See, so all you're getting is cartoons with a fucking arrow pointed at a section of a galaxy. And you've never seen a galaxy. Not like that. Not like you're being showed. You'll never float around in space and see a galaxy, right? So they show you these pictures of, oh, look at all these different galaxies out there. And all of these have millions and bazillions of stars. And you're just the speck of nothingness, right? So they can get you to consider yourself just some random speck of nothingness in your own mind. And so they can control your reality and control what you think of your own existence here. And so you'll walk around thinking nothing matters and you're just a speck of nothingness. When really, this realm is a supernatural realm and you can manipulate aspects of this realm. And it's way more magical and diverse than you being on that meme out in outer space. JP Crucino says they say they drink their pee to survive in space. Oh yeah, the astronauts on the space station drink recycled pee. Yep, that's what they say. And that's the story people buy, that astronauts are drinking recycled pee. Yep, that's science, man. Look it up. Mr. D said, how can there be bubbles in space? Are they in a big swimming pool? So some of these spacewalks are done in a swimming pool. So they've got different ways that they can do all this stuff, either in a studio or in a pool or CGI. So they've got all sorts of different ways to trick the audience. Green screen and harness, all sorts of different ways. Davey D said, number one breaks it down better than Jake, or no one breaks it down better than Jake. Thanks for plugging the tunnel video. Finally got views. Got the fiance checking out the show for the first time. Awesome. Thank you for the donation, Davey D. I'm going back to get Mike's super chat as well right now. Going to catch up on all these super chats that I missed. Okay, I got that one from JP. That they drink their pee. One sec, guys. Rose sent me a message saying I missed the super chat, so I'm going back to get it right now. Fuck, where is it? I think I read that one, Rose. The one from Mike said, I don't know if any asked you about GPS. I explained the GPS thing. So I definitely read Mike's, that super chat from Mike. So I think I caught up on all the super chats. Please let me know if I missed any of the super chats, but I think I caught up. All right. Oh, yeah, I was going to make a point about what I was showing. So they convince us when we're children that the earth is round and that we're out flying around in space. And they get us to believe in this reality that doesn't exist. So therefore, everything that they lie about, we just accept because we're kids in school, and that's what we're told by the teacher. That's what we're told by the authorities. So we just go along to get along, right? So if you were taught that the sun is a projection, right? Then instead of you thinking it's a big giant fireball, then you would believe it's a projection. So it comes down to what you're taught when you're a child. So a lot of this information, when you find out that they lied, like for instance, if you find out they lied about the moon landing, well, then that means they lied about the other space missions. So that means they lied about outer space in general. So if they didn't go to the moon, and if the moon isn't a gray rock, well, then what the hell is it? So then you start having to ask yourself questions like, hey, what is that moon? And how come the moon and the sun are about the exact same size? What are the chances if we're here in the galaxy, as they say, that we're going to see the sun and the moon, and it just happens to look like they're the same size? Like, what are the odds that you see a sun that's 93 million miles away and it's gigantic, according to what they tell us, that the sun is way bigger than Earth? And then you look at the moon and they tell us that that's smaller than Earth. And you can see them both in the sky at the same time during certain parts of the month, and they look about the exact same size, right? So as the sun's on the horizon, it gets bigger. As the moon's on the horizon, it gets bigger, right? So you see that big orange sun late in the day. And then if you see the moon close to the horizon, like when it first comes out, that's when you see that big orange moon, the big gnarly orange moon, right? So they both behave in similar ways. And they want you to believe that it's just a stroke of luck that the sun and the moon just happen to be about this. They happen to look about the same size. So if what they say is true, you have to believe that you are on a spinning pear rock and that you can see the sun, which is a big gigantic fireball, and you can see this tiny gray rock. And they just so happen to be at perfect distances where they look to be about the same size to your little human eye. Wow, like what are the chances it lined up just perfectly like that? Oh, and here's the kicker. They eclipse each other just perfectly to your human eye. Get the fuck out of here. Those objects eclipse each other. The sun and the moon, they eclipse each other perfectly to our human eye. Yep. They just so happen out there in chaotic space where everything's shooting in space at unfathomable speeds. The Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour. It shoots around the sun at the 60,000 miles an hour, and then the sun shoots through the cosmos at over 1,000,000 miles an hour. And you can't feel any of this, of course, because of the word gravity. And it just so happens, you, this little tiny piece of nothingness, when you look up with your little itty bitty eye, you see that gigantic fireball and the gray rock appear to eclipse each other just perfectly. They just line up just freaking perfectly in a chaotic, accidental world created by a explosion that happened for some unknown reason. Yeah. So the Big Bang happened for some unknown reason, for whatever reason, just by happenstance. And it created all this space vacuum, ever expanding space vacuum, where all these planets and stars are, and where all us little itty bitty insignificant humans live. And we just happen to look up from our spinning space spheroid, and we see that the gray rock and the giant fireball just so happen to eclipse each other perfectly. Wow. Crazy how all that lines up, right? The last Trump 2024 said it's just pure luck. According to those who believe in mainstream science and the Big Bang Theory, It's all just fucking cosmic coinky-dink. Oh, wait, but there's more. The Earth just so happens to be in the Goldilocks zone. That's what they call it, the Goldilocks zone. You guys remember the story of the three bears where Goldilocks went in the bear's house and like slept in their beds and sat on their chairs and ate their fucking porridge and all that stuff? You guys remember Goldilocks, right? And the one that she liked best was the baby bear's porridge because it was just right. You know, she was one of those bitches who liked sleeping in the baby's bed because she thought it was just right. Well, we live in the Goldilocks zone based on the story of Goldilocks, right? And those fucking bears. And what's awesome is if we didn't live in the Goldilocks zone, we would all be dead. None of us would be here. I wouldn't be here talking about it right now. But since we live in the Goldilocks zone, I'm here talking about it right now to you guys. And here's the crazy thing. And I'm going to break it down for you step by step of how we all got here in this moment where you're listening to me. So when the earth was created, it was in the spot where it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. So in the Goldilocks zone, the temperatures are just right for water to be wet and life to thrive and survive. And so if we were a little closer to the sun, it would be too hot. We wouldn't be here right now. If we were a little farther away, it would be too cold. It would just be an ice world. We wouldn't be here right now. But check it out. We were just close enough to the sun and just far away to where water can be wet. And life came out of where, according to science, the ocean. And how did life show up in the ocean? Well, according to science, they're not exactly sure how life showed up in the ocean, but they do know that the ocean was like a primordial soup. It was like a chemical soup, and that life was churned out of this primordial chemical soup. These prehistoric oceans churned out life as we know it today. But how did the first cells of life show up in the ocean? Well, they're not exactly sure about that. So they think possibly, maybe, a comet from outer space hit the oceans, and maybe there was life on the comet in cell form. Little microscopic cells of life were on the comet from another world. And when it hit here, it happened to survive the impact, right? So it comes from outer space at unfathomable speeds, burns through the atmosphere, or perhaps there wasn't much of an atmosphere back then for it to burn through. We don't know, whatever. And it hits here. And so perhaps, maybe they think, they're not sure, the life came from outer space on a comet. And so now you have life in the ocean. And so you have these cells floating around in the ocean. And these cells are like, hey, we don't feel like just being regular microscopic cells. We want to be more than that. So let's start duplicating and multiplying and becoming clumps of cells. So then those cells decided to start doing just that. They started duplicating and multiplying. And then they became clumps of cells. So now there's these like clumps of like jelly and stuff just floating around in the primordial soup ocean, right? This is before the dinosaurs and before humans became monkeys, okay? Follow me now. So we got these jelly things in the water. The jelly things decide over the course of millions of years that they want to be more than just jelly things, and that they want to grow fins and swim faster. And they want to grow eyes so they can see, and grow mouths so that they can like eat stuff. And so some of the jellies were like, we just want to stay jellies. So some of the jellies stayed jellies, but some of the jellies turned into more complex fish. And some of those fish got even bigger and bigger and turned into like whales and sharks and stuff, right? And then some of the fish were like, you know what? There's all this land. Nobody's doing anything on the land. So why don't we, some of us fish, decide to start growing legs and get up on out this water. So some of the fish, not all of them, but some of them, the lucky ones, decided to start evolving legs. And so some of the fish like became like half fish, half frog like creatures. And they like swam, hopped out of the water. They did a combination of swim hopping, like, so the first batch of like fish with legs, they just like kind of hopped around on the beach a little bit. And then like over the course of millions of years, they grew bigger, more stronger legs, and they grew more confident leaving the water and exploring the land. So then eventually you had some frogs that left the water, turtles and stuff that left the water that were like, we're just going to hang out on the land. We don't want to go back to the water anymore. And so we're just going to be land dwelling creatures and not do the water thing anymore because the ocean is overrated and the party's way better here on land. So some of the fish just became land dwelling creatures. And then from there, the fish turned into like birds and dinosaurs and stuff, right? So that's when we had the age of the dinosaur. The fish that came out of the water over millions and billions of years turned into dinosaurs, right? And then something happened. We think maybe, we don't know, possibly a comet from outer space came and killed the dinosaurs. Something happened, some big event, a flood, a comet that caused the flood, a kamikaze comet causing flood. They're not sure, but the dinosaurs all died. But the little tiny animals, some of them survived and turned into the land-dwelling animals that we see today. Some of those turned into monkeys. And then this is the cool part, you guys. This is where me and you come in. Some of the monkeys decided to evolve into people. Some of the monkeys stayed monkeys, and some of the monkeys decided to become people. Now, there were a bunch of partial half monkey, half people breeds, but all those died out. So now, of course, we have people and we have monkeys. But all of the half people, half monkey breeds, they all unfortunately died out. There is no more half monkey, half people. So all the monkeys that decided to just be monkeys, they hung out in the trees and ate bananas and they thrived. And then the monkeys that became people, they started building cities and communities and developed technology. And as you know, people are alive and thriving. So monkeys are doing good and people are doing good. But all of those half monkey, half people hybrids, didn't work out so well for any of them. They just could never quite figure out how to survive. So all of those died out. This, of course, happened over millions of years. So here we are, the lucky ones that didn't stay monkeys or die out as half monkey, half people. Here we are, the lucky ones who get to be alive as people. And the cool thing is science and public school has taught me all this information that I just spewed at you. See, so I just made you guys smarter, having told you what mainstream science has taught me. So I just parroted what I learned from mainstream science. So now everyone is collectively more fucking retarded. There you go. Aren't we all lucky that us evolved monkeys are alive here on this flying, spinning paroid in the infinite space vacuum? Aren't we all so lucky to be a speck of nothingness floating around in this fucking space vacuum? Jonna says, could you please share your joke, Dinosaur 6? All right, so when it comes to dinosaurs, I always wondered, do dinosaurs fuck? How does that work? Because, like, if they want me to believe in dinosaurs, then I'm going to need to know how dinosaurs fucked. Because I've looked at a Stegosaurus, and I can't quite figure out how a male Stegosaurus is going to be able to mount a female Stegosaurus, because as you guys know, Stegosauruses have bony plates on their backs, right? Let me look up a Stegosaurus. Yeah. So we all know what a Stegosaurus looks like. So they expect me to believe that this creature can somehow mount another Stegosaurus. Well, look at this tail with these spiky bony plates and these prongs and shit, right? Like, it just seems like trying to do any sort of love making would turn into getting mortally wounded, right? Seems like if you tried to mount a female Stegosaurus as a male Stegosaurus, their bony plate might accidentally chop off your Stegosaurus schlong, right? And even if you try and do it from the side, Stegosaurus style, if she at some point gets too turned on and whips that spiky tail around, right? And then the spiky tail like accidentally pokes you in your Stegosaurus stack, in your Stegosaurus scrotum, right? And then your Stegosaurus testicles come spilling out. I mean, it just seems it would just be really hard to do, right? And so I always wondered whether or not dinosaurs fuck and how they go about doing that. And so I remember asking in school about whether dinosaurs fucked, but I didn't say fucked when I was in school. I asked if dinosaurs mated. And that's when you get everyone laughing at you, right? And they would say, the teacher would say, and other kids would be like, no, silly, they lay eggs. So the females just lay eggs and then a dinosaur hatches. No, silly, the male dinosaur fertilizes the eggs. Okay, so a female lays eggs without being fucked. Is that what you're telling me? And then the male fertilizes the eggs? How does the male fertilize those eggs? Are you telling me that the male comes along, sees that there's an egg, let's say a Stegosaurus egg, and goes, oh, I need to do my job as a male Stegosaurus and fertilize this egg now. And then how does the male Stegosaurus fertilize the egg? Are you telling me that the Stegosaurus jerks off and shoots Stegosaurus splooge all over the fucking egg, and that the Stegosaurus splooge soaks into the fucking egg and fertilizes the egg? Is that what you're telling me? Yes, Jake. Stegosauruses don't fuck. The females instinctively lay Stegosaurus eggs, and then the male jerks off and shoots Stegosaurus splooge onto the egg. It seeps into the eggshell because eggshell is porous and the sperms are microscopic. Even dinosaur sperms are microscopic, and they go through the eggshell and they fertilize the dinosaur egg. And that's how dinosaur babies are born. Right? All right, smartasses. If that's not how it's done, if that's not how baby dinosaurs are created, then you tell me how baby dinosaurs are created. Let's hear your explanation. LaFleur says, also join the chat and smash the like. hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of my streams or my content. YouTube does shady shit to my channel. They will not notify people when I post a video. They'll not notify people when I'm doing a stream. So not only should you be subscribed, but you go to where it shows the subscribe button on my page, and you click the bell notifications to all. A lot of people don't have it turned on to all. And so if you want to get notified or have the best chance of getting notified, you got to turn the notifications onto all. For instance, I'll even show you guys right now how to do it. All right. So for instance, Davey504, we'll say, if I want to make sure I'm subscribed to Davey504 with the bell notifications turned on. And this is what you guys need to do with my channel. So I'm not trying to promote Davey. I'm trying to promote you to make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And what you're going to want to do is go to the bell and see how it's right here. It says all. Make sure that this one's clicked. Because what chances are, most of you guys who are subbed, it's going to be on personalized. And that basically means YouTube picks and chooses if they want to send you a notification, which usually they don't. So check it out. Most of you guys are not subscribed with all selected. So what I want you to do is right now, go to my page right now. All of y'all, put it on the all right now. Right? That's how it's done. And then you have the best chance of getting notified. But there's still no guarantees that that will get you notified. Thank you very much, Jonna and Davey D. You guys are awesome subscribers and great mods. Very, very supportive of the channel. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are very loyal as well. You show up for almost every stream. You don't pull evil shit and stab me in the back like others have in the past. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, looks like I missed the super chat as well. So take this time to hit the thumbs up button right here, right now. We'll continue on a little longer. All right, I'm going back right now to read a super chat that I missed. Give me 1 minute. Here it is. Don655. I am not a big fan of the YouTube handles. I wish they would just show the names. Anyway, it says, Jake still salty. India beat him to the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. Hey, we take it over, we go to the moon, then you know that we come back soon. Roof to the top, roof down low, roof so much we got no place to go. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take it over, roof to the moon, then you know that we come back soon. Roof to the top, roof to the south, and then we rove up right in your mouth. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. We take it over, rove to the moon, then you know we're gonna come back soon. Rove to the left, rove to the right, and bitch, you know that we rove all night. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, land on the moon, land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon, and yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We row, row, row. Everybody now. Row, row, row. Come on, my friend. Row, row, row. Let's break it down now. Row, row, row. Come on now. Row, 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 rover. Row, 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 rover. Row. Whew. All right. I know you didn't request that, but I felt like doing it, so I just did it. All right. There you go. See Me Rollin' says, everything sucks, but at least we got Jake. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what to make my show about tonight. And it was one of those things where, like, there's nothing major happening right now in the news. So I just thought I'd show some random video clips and talk some shit, make you guys laugh, make it up as I go along. And so, yeah, the title, you know, I just needed to come up with something. It was like I wanted to stream tonight, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do or say. But I knew once I got started, once I got the party going, that I would do something entertaining, right? It's like I wanted to stream, but I didn't exactly know what to show you guys tonight or what to talk about. So I was like, all right, tonight I'm just going to wing it. And you know, for it being a wing it show, I think it's went pretty well. All right. Oh shit, there's a few more super chats that I missed. My bad. I missed one from Connor Clark that said, "What about sheeple that see planets in telescopes?" So the people that see planets in telescopes, yeah, you just see a flashy dot in the telescope, right? So Mars is a red flashy dot, and then a star is just a flashy dot. You see a super flashy dot, or you see a medium flashy dot, or a faint flashy dot. But that's it. You're just seeing some flashy dots in the sky. And so the things that you think you see aren't what they tell you. And so, like Mars, for instance, you're going to see, you know, a red flashy thing in the sky, but it doesn't have deserts and craters and shit. And there's no rovers there. It's not a physical place that you can go. So yes, you can see stuff in a telescope, but it is not what they tell you it is. So there's no places to go as far as like other planets to visit and landing on them and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways they trick people with propaganda about Mars rovers and landing humans on moons and other planets, is they get you to create a landable place out in outer space. They get you to create that in your own mind, when none of that stuff is actually able to be landed upon or walked upon. It's just a flashy dot in the sky. All right. And then I had another missed super chat from Mom's Basement Gaming. Said, "What happened to Goatus parody? It was so funny." So I got tired of making videos about Goatus because I was just repeating the same thing. So the problem with the Goatus parody channel is, like, I'm just repeating the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then I was worried that if he got desperate, he might try and copyright strike the channel, because I was using a lot of clips from his videos. And then I also got worried that perhaps, you know, it could be considered bullying if I just keep making videos making fun of one guy and calling out this one guy over and over and over and over. So I got bored of repeating myself, and people were still watching him. He's still making videos. He's still doing his thing. So no matter what I did or said, it didn't stop him from doing what he's doing. And it didn't stop people from watching him. And so the time spent making videos for that channel could be better spent with me running this channel. So I always look at this channel as the main channel I need to be worried about. And so the Goatus channel, if I spend a day making a video for that channel, well, I could have spent that day doing something over here instead. And so this channel is how I make a living. And that other channel is just like a side channel that I was using to bust a guy's balls. So I was calling out, Goatus on the other channel. And after like 4 years of repeating myself, it's like hard to find motivation to go over there and keep saying the same thing. He's a wanted criminal. He paid a hitman to attack his girlfriend with acid. He tried to kill his own son. It's like I can only say that so many times. And so they even had the big name YouTubers make documentaries about him. So they had Rotten Mango, who got like over 1 million views on a documentary. And then someone else, Turkey Tom, had like over 1 million views on a documentary. So they've had people make documentaries about what he did to his ex-girlfriend, and still people choose to watch him and listen to him. And so I guess if the police aren't going to do anything, and if he's held up in some third world country and the authorities aren't doing nothing to stop him, and YouTube's not going to do nothing to stop him, well, what can I do? So thank you to Connor Clark and Mom's Basement Gaming for the super chats that I missed from a while ago. All right, then we got somebody bringing up math. Powerland painted the pictures. Yeah, you want to see what he's been up to lately? It's pretty sad. Last time I saw, he was still playing the worst guitar ever. And hasn't done anything new in like a month. All right, let's take a look and see what he's up to. This is the last time he was on camera, a month ago, September. And he's turned off the comments. 138 views. Man, he's gotten so good at shredding on that guitar. The way he wields that axe, man. You can tell he's been practicing a lot. There he is. Getting 138 views and turning off the comments. Wow. And that was a guy who used to get tens of thousands of views. Now he's in the Where Are They Now files. Lemming in a shiny metal box says, Sir Jake, what is your opinion on the theory of black holes, wormholes, and time warps? Used to enjoy reading about those topics many years ago. So I don't think that those are even real. So I don't think that there's a such thing as a black hole that sucks stuff up right? I mean, how do you even see a black hole? You need to have the special equipment designed to see stuff far away in fake space that only the government has access to. So the government is the one who's going to give you a photo of a black hole. And what's a photo of a black hole? It's a fucking black spot, right? So what even is a black hole, right? How do you even know a black hole exists when you're just going to get a photo of a black spot, right? Because when you look up in the night sky, you just see the sky is black, right? You don't see a black hole sucking stars and planets into it, right? So the whole concept of a black hole, like sucking planets and stars into it and spitting it out the other side, that's just a fictional concept. It sounds cool when you are a sheeple and somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson is telling you about it. But when you actually think about it, once you wake up to the fact that space is fake and that they lied about everything in space, then it's like, oh, wait, how am I ever going to see a black hole? The only way I'm going to see a black hole is if I look at a picture of a black hole. And what's a picture of a black hole? It's a fucking black spot that comes from people who work for the government that tell you that that's a picture of a black hole. See? That's always the problem with a picture that comes from the government. You don't ever get to see that picture with your own two eyes in person. I mean, you don't ever get to see the black hole with your own two eyes, right? In this case. Thank you very much, Lemming in a shiny metal box. Yeah, space was, when I was a kid, like one of my favorite topics to talk about in school. It was like certain subjects like were really boring and I didn't want to hear it at all, right? But like space, for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I found that to be interesting. So I was captivated by outer space and the other planets, and then the other planets have their own moons. And see, they did a good job of brainwashing us when I was a kid, because I remember they had like books and you could just show in an encyclopedia a picture on paper of a fucking moon, one of Jupiter's moons, let's say. And they'll be like, oh, Jupiter has way more moons than our moon. They have like 8 moons. And oh, Saturn has like 12 moons. And there's volcano. And they would show you like that one of the moons of Saturn looks like it has volcanic activity. And then they show you this like fake picture of a moon in an encyclopedia. And then my mind would be like, wow, I wonder if there's aliens on the moons of Saturn, right? Because they would tell us that Saturn is a gas giant. But then they would say like that Saturn has all these moons and that one of these moons looks like it has volcanoes on it. And I was like, whoa, I wonder if there's aliens on the moon of Saturn, right? So when I was a kid, I found all that stuff to be very captivating, that there was, moons of these other planets, right, that had their own volcanoes and stuff, right? So to find out, that all of it was just horse shit, right? Totally just getting my childlike mind to just make a bunch of make-believe images in my own head, right? They'd get me to use my imagination to conjure up a bunch of bullshit that I thought was actually out there, Then, of course, you throughout your, teen years and your early adulthood, you're repeating all this stupid bullshit, And then when you finally figure out it's all wrong, then you're like, oh shit, now I have to go back to the drawing board. And then you're pointing at the moon like, what is that thing? You point at the sun. What is that? How does that work? Bob O with who gifted 5 Jake the Awake memberships. Wow, Bob O, that is very generous of you. Give it up for Bob O, everyone, hooking up 5 gifted memberships for the channel. That reminds me, I need to make some members only content. Kelly says if you want to read about space and black holes, it's the same as reading about Diddy. Yeah, you're going to get as much truth reading about black holes as you will Puff Daddy putting stuff into people's black holes at his party. But a bing! See what I did there? I compared black holes in space to people's assholes getting graped at Puff Daddy's parties. See what I did there? Very clever of me, huh? All right. Let me tell you something, people. You need to wake your ass up right now. There is no such thing as a P. Diddy. He's an animatronic robotoid. He's not even a real man. He comes from the land beyond the ice wall where they build the animatronic robotoids. Let me tell you something, people. There is no such thing as a Puff Daddy. There never was. I'm going to hit you with the bam before I'm gone. All of you people need to wake your ass up right now. This is just a dumb shit to fool the masses. P. Diddy is an animatronic robotoid. Wake your ass up right now. I'm gone. I've been trying to tell you for years and years now that P. Diddy is not even a real individual. In fact, one of the reasons why some people might think he's an animatronic robotoid is because he's being remotely controlled by Chinese nano drones. There once was a guy referred to as Puff Diddy who was human, but once the nano drones flew up his asshole, that's when he started being controlled from within. That's when you started hearing all the stories about him doing crazy things at these parties. But at any rate, I digress. One of the reasons why I spend most of my time driving around in my Overlander, vaping away with the windows rolled up, is because I don't want any of those Chinese nano drones to sneak into my Overlander and fly up my ass. Because then before you'd know it, I'd be doing all the crazy, freaky stuff that P. Diddy was doing at his parties. And that's just not my way of life. That's not what I was meant to do here. I was meant to follow Christ, meant to spread the word of God. So what I do is I keep my Bible tucked in between my legs as a shield to block any nano drones from trying to fly up my ass. At any rate, I digress. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out.
I was really disappointed to hear about what Diddy was doing at his parties. I actually met Diddy and I used to like him, but I don't have any fucking respect for Diddy anymore. I think he deserves more prison time for what he did at his parties. It's fucking disgusting. It's almost as disgusting as those fucking commies trying to ruin MAGA. P. Diddy never invited me to any of his fucking parties because he's a fucking commie. He deserves to rot in Guantanamo Bay, if you ask me. Hello to all the Nephilims and the Anunnaki who are watching out there. Hello to all of the intelligent life forms tuning in.
There you go. There you go, Kelly. A little Roseanne for that ass. All the ladies love my Roseanne impression. That's right. All the hot chickies go crazy when I bust out the Roseanne impression. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, girl, you got that look in your eye. You got that look in your eye tonight, like you want me to bust out my Roseanne impression. Oh, yeah, girl, I know what you want.
And I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you exactly what you want. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? And so proudly we hailed, Becky, please get your ass down here. DJ, darling, then won't you get down here? Uncle Jackie's coming over, and we need to get down to the mall.
What?
What? Why?
All right, I'm seeing laughing emojis coming in. Can always count on Holden. Trim Reaper. All right. I see somebody desperately trying to bring up a Damon. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. Trim Reaper said Puff Daddy's too busy hanging out with the Nephilim. The Nephilim.
Folks, it might sound a little bit crazy, but one of the reasons why Trump's having so many issues getting the government back on track is because these freaking lefties out there, they refuse to negotiate with President Trump. That's why you're seeing so many people starving and going hungry. It is 100% the fault of all these freaking demonic democrats out there. These are the type of people that would hang out at Puff Daddy's party, stick a dildo up their own ass. These people, I tell you, they're as evil as the freaking Nephilims. They drink the blood of the babies alongside of Hillary freaking Clinton. I saw these freaking demonic democrats drinking baby's blood next to the freaking Nephilims. God damn it, making the freaking frogs gay. Makes me want to eat my neighbor's ass. I'm fixing to go eat my neighbor's ass right now. And I hope my neighbor's ass is nice and fresh and plump. Don't want any of that rotten neighbor ass, otherwise I might puke. Might sit in my car and cry. Puke. Ah, frick it.
Whoa. What was that? That was an Alex Jones impression that just came out of nowhere. Trim Reaper says Roseanne interprets Stephen Hawking. I think I've done that before. I think I've probably done that before. It sounds familiar, like I've already did this like last month or the month before or something.
Steven says his favorite show was Roseanne, and he used to watch every week. He said that I was his favorite character on the Roseanne show. You know what fucking pissed me off is when they kicked me off of my own fucking show, started calling it the fucking Connors. It's almost as crazy as these commies trying to ruin MAGA. Connors, commies. It's like they're the same fucking thing, you know? Steven said he liked watching my show way better than the fucking Cosby Show, because the Cosby Show is nothing but a bunch of fucking commies. And then, of course, Bill Cosby turned out to be a real fucking creep. He likes watching me because I was way more funny, and my show is way more relatable. We were like a real family. We would like yell and scream at each other. I'd be like, Becky, get down here! That's why people in America related to me so fucking much. Stephen Hawking said he wants me and Trump to get together and be the first lady and president of the United States. I agree. I should be the first lady. I would worship Trump's old balls every night.
What? Why? Why would she do that? Roseanne, that's disgusting. Uh-oh. That's when I start losing people. If I do too many Roseanne impressions in one night, that's when people start bailing. All right, y'all. Well, I guess we could wrap it up and call it a night. I didn't really have anything else to talk about. I'm just screwing around at this point. Making funny voices for anyone who's left here still watching. At this point, I'm just pulling impressions out of my ass. So I guess we could go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I appreciate it. I had fun tonight, jumping around, talking about different topics and subjects and whatnot. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all the people who sent me super chats tonight. We had a lot of very generous super chat donations come in tonight, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And then later on, I'll go back and watch the replay, and I'll read all the different messages that came in. There were so many people sending messages tonight. They were just shooting by one. So I'll go back and watch the replay. I'll read all the chats and see what everybody had to say tonight. So if I didn't read your chat live, I will go back and read it when I watch the replay. So I will see what was said tonight. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all my awesome mods. Good night, Rose. Good night, Trim Reaper. Sovereign Dirt. Holden. Jonna. Shady Davy D. Kelly. Thank you guys for being here. All right, y'all. So until next time, this is your favorite comedian and mine signing out. I'll see you in the next video or the next stream, whichever comes first. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your fake phony football games if you decide to watch that crap tomorrow. Peace out. Bye-bye.